About? Have you heard about this footballer?
Bill, you got a note.
A note?
Yeah, for the stick.
Oh.
Just a...
Yeah, Andrew Johnson.
Yeah, man.
What do you think about that shit,
found
man?
fucking guilty today, bro. He deserves it, the cunt.
No, I disagree.
Not guilty.
No, he
got found guilty.
He got found guilty,
He
bro.
pleaded
The
guilty.
judge said to him, say goodbye to your family, go in jail, bro. He did, sorry, right? I get girls can be bad and they can be things, but he's a 27-year-old professional football player on millions a year, bro.
What's that got to do with anything?
Hold on, shut up. He knows he's in the public limelight, right? He knows that cameras, people follow him everywhere, yeah?
So it's all right. It's all right.
But no, shut up. He could pay any woman or any female in the world to be with him, bro, but he chose a young girl. He has a thing for young children. That's
a 15-year-old is not a young child, for Christ's sake. You weren't young children when you came up here.
Yeah, obviously, he's still technically against the law, though.
Oh, yeah, but hang on a minute. She was 15, right? How many 16-year-old mothers are there in Hatfield?
Yeah, there's like 30-year-old mothers. I get that. That's not the point.
No point. No, yes, it is the point. A 15-year-old is not a fucking child.
The law's still the law.
The law is a load of bollocks. Yeah, right. Then don't stop smoking right now. Then stop smoking right now. Then, if the law is the law, stop smoking. You joints. Stop smoking crack, whatever.
Yeah,
the law is the law. If that's the law, the law is the bollocks.
Yeah, I don't care about the
Hold on. Let me. Right, I'm going to say something. Right, I'll say something.
Bill.
How many 16-year-old mothers are there in Hatfield? How many 15-year-old mothers? I know several women who were 15 when they had babies. I'm not saying it's right. It's not for me to judge. I'm gay, so it's nothing to do with me, really. And I hate football, so it's nothing to do with me, really. But what I'm saying is there are a hell of a lot of, in the last 20 or 30 years, hell of a lot of fucking 16-year-old mothers pushing prams down the street, obviously getting fucked and fucking when they were 15. I have a question for the judge. Was that 15-year-old girl a virgin? Was she a virgin? If she wasn't a virgin, then he's done nothing wrong.
And she had sex with someone else that's her age, because it counts as that. It's not illegal. They're both underage.
It doesn't count at all. What I'm saying, was she a virgin? If she was a virgin, if she was a virgin, how many 15-year-old virgin girls do you know? In all honesty, girls, all the girls I know in Hatfield. How many of you? How old were you when you had sex? For fuck's sake, you know, you're 15, 16 or whatever, 15 or 16 most of them.
You don't have to do it for a little while.
Some of them are a lot younger. I know some of them who are younger than 15 in Hatfield, for instance.
He won't do that. He does half.
But the point is, you're not a child when you're 15.
Bill.
In Judaism, you're an adult at 13, for Christ's sake. You're actually classed as an adult in Judaism at 13.
Too big for you, mate?
Which I think, I mean, that's not about sex. That's about being an adult.
Hello, mate.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But what I'm saying is a 15-year-old girl is not a fucking child. She's a young woman. A young woman, basically.
Jokes. You two are on the old proper coke. Connor's on the old cherry coke, boys.
The point is,
the old Hatfield cherry coke.
But the point is, it's like he's done nothing wrong with. Did he force her into his car? Did that footballer force that 15-year-old girl into his car?
Of course not.
Has she got tits?
No, Bill, he's probably not done all that.
Has she got a fanny?
He slept with her, that's all it is. I know.
Well, let's load of bollocks, so what?
I know, yeah, I know.
God, I know loads of fucking 15-year-old girls who sleep with older men, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I know, and I'm not...
For the last, I mean, look, there are loads... It's just a load of bollocks. It's just a total load of bollocks. And you can't call a 15-year-old a child, for Christ's sake. He's not a fucking paedophile. Is some idiot who fancied a teenage girl. And how many fucking men wolf whistle at schoolgirls in their lorries or cars or whatever? Come on, I know one bloke, one of my mates was 14 when he had a child. He was 14 years old when he became a father. I'm 50 this year, right? It's not my game now. I'm 50 this year, right? I've got a friend who I went to Hatfield School with, Paul Oughton, his name was, Paul Oughton. He was 14 when he had his first child.
Yeah, there was a kid
boy.
in the paper had a kid at 12.
You know?
A boy and a girl had a baby at 12.
That's true. That was in the newspapers not so long ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So a 15-year-old girl is not a fucking child. And don't call that poor guy a paedophile.
No, but what I'm saying is... No, but I understand what Connor's saying. Like, if you're 15 and you sleep with a 15-year-old, it's not classed as underage sex because you're underage as well.
Well, yeah, but come on.
Yeah, I know, Bill. I know.
You know what I mean? Man, that's all I wanted to say on the subject. Let's put films now, yeah? Anything else you want to say on the subject?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, then again, I do understand what Connor's saying. In a way, like, I know what you're saying is right, and it is.
No.
You know what I mean? But in a way, I'm saying what Connor is right, because the guy is in the limelight, you know what I mean? So, I'm not being funny. For him to do that, he must have known there would have been repercussions, you know what I mean, kind of thing.
Well...
You know what I mean?
I mean, it don't matter if you... whatever.
Who is that?
I mean, I've already been busted,
I'm
so...
not being funny, I'm not being funny.
Chris called. Do you want to
Yeah, no.
answer it?
No, it's the guy we just got cracked
Hello,
off,
Chris,
but
yeah?
we don't need it now.
Bill. Hello. Hey? Oh, I think it's just accidentally phoned. Alright, now... yeah, but I'm just saying, a 15-year-old girl knows exactly what she's fucking doing in bed. Of course she does. You have sex education at school, for Christ's sake.
Was that all right?
I mean, most 15-year-old girls... I bet there aren't that many 15-year-old virgins in Hatfield, I'll tell you that. I've been living here for 40 years. And there's not that many 15-year-old virgin girls I know of in Hatfield, I'll tell you that.
Who's been up here? Nah, that can't really
You don't... Most 15-year-old virgins. So most girls in this fucking town are fucking in their by that time. So I mean, who gives a fuck for some footballer wants to get his leg over, for Christ's sake? I mean, let's face it. If she knew he was famous, it was probably her coming on to him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But you.
Yeah, but think about it. Okay, he's a famous footballer, right? So obviously, don't you think it might have been her coming on to him?
Yeah, she's probably done it for money. But you know what I mean? At the end of the day, they've always... I'm not being funny. Like, the only thing I hate is if you're a famous musician, just say, for instance, yeah...
Like Michael Jackson, for instance.
No, but just say, for instance, yeah, you're a famous musician.
And
just say, for instance, and you sleep with me...
I'm still on my... I'm out of debate. I'm still on him, bro. I'm still...
Right, Bill, let's just say, for instance, right, Bill, like, let's just say...
I don't believe it. Look, no, hold on. This is my true, honest belief on the situation. I think because he was so abused himself as a child, mentally, it left him in a childlike state. So when he got older, just let me finish, when he got older, you know, everyone's like, why has he got a fucking Neverland in his back garden? Because I still believe he wanted to be a child himself and be Peter Pan and be fucking
Was Walt Disney a paedophile?
He did fucking, there's no doubt in my mind something happened with a child, bro.
I don't think so.
I think something happened, bro. I mean,
possibly,
you wouldn't pay a family 20 million if you didn't fucking do anything.
But then again, if your kid,
20
but then again, if I raped
then again, if you were the most famous rock star in the world, and you knew you were the most famous rock star in the world, would you risk your whole career by fiddling with little kiddies? And wouldn't other children have come forward and said, "Oh, actually, Michael Jackson was fiddling me"? Load of bollocks that is. Do you honestly believe that the most famous fucking pop star in the world, idol to millions of people, was fiddling about with little kiddies in the...
okay, so that's the same...
I don't believe a word of it, to be honest.
So that's the same with Jimmy Savile then, so he's not technically a pedo.
Well, no, I'm not talking about Jimmy Savile. I don't know much about that one, man.
Do you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, apparently, I'm not quite sure whether I don't really believe that Jimmy Savile would have dressed as a womble to fondle little babies. It's pathetic.
I agree. See, this is what I said. Check this.
It's getting pathetic.
Is what I said, yeah. I said, look, if one person comes forward, yeah, I think 200 more jump on the bandwagon. You know, like suddenly they remember they were there in the same place and before.
Well, take this bitch from Top of the Pops, right? She was a teenager, yeah. She was about 16, yeah. Okay, Jimmy Savile. She was a woman, classed as a woman at 16, yeah. Yeah, or 15, I don't care. And he's put his hand on her bum. Yeah. Okay. Now, have you ever put your arm around a woman's shoulder? Here's a good point. Have you ever put your arm around a woman's shoulder? Jimmy Savile was fondling my tits. He was fondling my tits. Yeah. You put your arm around a woman's shoulder and your hand will land on her tit. Isn't it true? If you put your arm around a woman's shoulder, your hand will touch her tit. This whole Jimmy Savile thing is a load of bloody nonsense too, I think. I think this whole Jimmy Savile business is a load of fucking nonsense too. The thing is, like,
to be honest...
Yeah, but let's be honest, man. Let me finish. Let me finish. If you put your arm around... Can you pick up that razor? Connor, can you pick up the razor by your foot? If you put your arm around a girl's shoulder, your hand will land on her tit. You can't avoid her fucking tit, can you? If you put your arm around a lady's shoulder, your hand will either go around her waist, or if you put it around her shoulder, if you put your arm around her shoulder, like that, like that, your hand will land on her tit. That's abuse. How can that possibly bloody be sexual abuse? If a bloke puts his hand around a woman's shoulder, of course it's going to touch her fucking tit. You can't really avoid it, can you?
Keep holding it.
God, I miss his magic chair. That was good. I liked his magic chair. Jimmy Savile had a magic chair. Yeah, they all just... Bing, press the button and something came out of the chair.
The only thing that I think, yeah, is bollocks about the Jimmy Savile thing. I'm not saying it, like, to be, like, you've had your say, Bill, so I'm having my say now, like, you interrupted, yeah? I believe he is what they say he is, yeah, but the only thing I think stupid is why did everyone wait till he died, you know what I mean, before they said something? Why couldn't they say nothing when he was alive?
And well, there was if so many people were abused by Jimmy Savile, you can't cover up that amount of abuse, can you? Really, let's face it. 1,000 people say, "Oh, Jimmy Savile fondled me." Someone would have. It was on Saturday. It was on radio every day of the week. He was on the radio every fucking day of the week. Yeah, he was on television every week, every Saturday night of the week with little
Jimmy
children.
will fix it, bro.
With little children on his knee, or well, in the chair, like giving him Jimmy. Someone would have said something when he was on television, when he was really famous, like they did with Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But with Jimmy Savile, they waited until he was dead. What a load of fucking bollocks. I don't believe a fucking word of it. I think it's a load of jumped up shit.
No, what I think's out of order, the fact that fucking he had a sick headstone, they ripped that down, you know what I mean? They took his knighthood away from him, and now they've literally took all his money, all his family, what he left there.
Yeah. Well, it gave 20 million. It gave £20 million to charity. Yeah, but he was totally high profile, right? He was totally high profile. If he was guilty of so much shit, someone would have said something when he was famous, when he was alive. Because then they could have got a lot more money and he would have been sent to prison forever. If Jimmy Savile abused you, you would have gone down to the fucking police station. Thousands of people would have done if it is that guilty, if all of that is true. And they'd have said, "Oh, Jimmy Savile just raped me. He's been doing, Jim will fix it. Right, I want to make £1 million." But no, they wait until the fucking fucker's dead before they say anything. Not until he's dead that they say anything. Load of fucking bollocks. The whole fucking shit Sun newspaper is a load of bollocks. The only fucking good thing about the Sun newspaper is that when you run out of toilet paper. So the only decent fucking thing is about the Sun fucking newspaper is when you run out of toilet paper, you can use it to wipe your ass.
No, I'm saying I think Rolf Harris, I think that is a load of bollocks, man.
Oh, I don't give a fuck, to be honest. Yeah. I really don't give a fuck. It's all fucking sensationalised, isn't it, now, a load of it, you know. I don't know. I'm not a fucking... It's not my job to fucking sort out your fucking problems. I've got problems of my own.
Wait, can I ask you a question? Yeah. You'll know, because me and Connor was having a debate the other day. You know the Moors murderers?
Yeah.
What one hung himself and who died of cancer?
Oh, fuck it, I don't know,
I was just asking because
I don't fucking know.
I just thought you might know.
Myra Hindley died. That was sick. That was, that was totally fucking... See, that's all brushed under the carpet now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Things like... In fact, I'll tell you one thing that has been brushed under the carpet, which I've noticed. Daniel Handley. Was it Handley?
The one that killed the twins?
No. There was a kid.
Jamie Bolger.
13 years old. No, he was about 6 years old, got killed. And the government did nothing about it when he got killed, when this little kid got killed. And also, what about Buncliffe? No, it's not Buncliffe. Dunblane.
Dunblane, yeah.
This is what pisses me off. You remember Dunblane was about 30 years ago, yeah?
Connor don't know.
And some maniac...
Connor don't know Dunblane, I tell you now.
Well, I tell you. Some maniac went into... Dunblane is a little village in Scotland. This must be about 95, I suppose. About 1995, 96. Probably about 95, I think it was. Something like that, Dunblane. Probably about 1995, that's 21 years ago. It was about 21 years ago, actually. 21 years ago. Dunblane. Some maniac with a gun burst into Dunblane Primary School and murdered about 30 fucking children, 5-year-olds, right? 5-year-old children got murdered, right? 30, a whole classroom of them got murdered. Did the government do anything about the gun laws? Did the government really do anything to protect the children at school from these maniacs with guns and stuff? They did nothing about Dunblane, was completely swept under the carpet. When 35-year-old children get murdered, I think the government should fucking act. straight away on
know,
that.
Bill,
And they did
know,
nothing about it. They did nothing about it. They did nothing about sort of like protecting the kids.
Do you know schools, yeah? Do you know if you go for a job at a school, yeah, by law they are meant to do a CRB check? Do you know how many schools have not done it, and like basically a couple of years down the line they find out that their teachers are pedos and that, and how many stuff's happened, like.
Oh, look at the Catholic Church, for fuck's sake.
No, it's like what happened up Lark's Rise as well with that little kid.
Well, I mean, how old were you guys when you came up here, for instance? I got arrested, didn't I? I got arrested in 2007, actually, wasn't it? Yeah?
Can
Remember
I
that?
just say one thing? We was all scared that you would bum us. That's why we used to come up in groups.
Yeah.
We never come up alone. We was always too scared.
No, hang on. How old were you, Connor, when you first came up here?
I was like 13.
Hmm?
13.
13. How old were you, Lee?
I don't know, mate.
It was 15. Was it your 15th birthday, wasn't it?
14th.
14th birthday. 14th. No, it was your 14th. That's right. It was your 14th birthday, wasn't it?
I'm up here with Gary, Billy, Lee.
That was 18th. That was 18th of April. What year was that? 2005.
Yeah, but like I'm saying is you actually.
Yeah, hold on. You're 25 this year, aren't you?
No, I'm 26.
I'm 24. He's 2 years above me.
Anyway, you came up when you were 14. You guys, you're still here, right?
Yeah, no, can I check my?
Yeah, but no, hold on. People keep accusing me of being a paedophile. They still accuse me of being a paedophile sometimes, sniggering, thinking, "Oh, I think Billy likes little kiddies," right? You guys were 14 when you came up, yeah? What is the very first thing I told you when you walked through the door?
Chuck me a bit of that whiskey, Bill.
Yeah. What was the very first thing I said to you
said,
guys?
I was touched by Willie, I've got to stick my fingers up your butt.
No, seriously.
No, you said I'm gay. If you don't like it, there's a door.
Exactly. And we made all these. We made hundreds of films. Well, there's about 100 films. Well, 30 or 40 films over the years. You know, well, maybe a lot more. No, there's about 100 films I made over the years. But made 4 years. Well, we've been making. In fact, this is still one of our films we're making now. So we've been making films since you guys were 14, sort of thing. So I mean, if I was a fucking kiddie fiddler, do you think these guys would be up here now?
If I don't, I'll be sick, bro.
11 years later. Do you think I'd be able to walk down the neighbourhood? If I was fiddling with little kiddies ever, do you honestly believe that I'll be able to be a postman and walking down the streets every fucking day? The police actually busted me because you've been 2005 you came up.
Bill, I made a statement when they busted you.
Yeah, I know you did. I thank you for that as well, Lee. Yeah, I know you
I
did.
actually went to the police station and told them I've been up there since this long. He's never touched me.
Yeah.
And I said, and I told him straight that if he did touch me, it would only be if I wanted it to happen. Like, he's not like that. He don't sit there and fucking. And to be fair, I was there as well. I weren't there when you fucking. You remember when you played the game?
Yeah.
I remember. I remember. I was round here one time, sitting in the room when they asked you to put on porn.
That's right. Yeah.
And I remember. I think Connor was there because I went in the other room with someone.
Bro, I fucking
no, I'm not saying you watched it, but I remember Sean O'Brien and that asked to watch it.
Well, the actual people. Because it was all. It was about this. It was that. Well, Billy was 12 years old when he came up. But I mean, there was a game strip poker. There was
no, I weren't there.
There was Gary.
Make
there was
that
Gary.
Clear. Connor weren't there in the strip.
No, Connor, you weren't there. You weren't there. You weren't here then.
That was Gary Williams.
But there was Gary. He was 16.
Sean
O'Brien.
Yeah, but there was and Ross was 16 as well. Reese Carpenter. He was 16 as well, man.
He still owes me.
And Reese Carpenter's about 6'2". He was about 6 foot.
Fucking pay me, bro.
Gary was about fucking 6 foot. They're 6'2", I think Gary was. That's quite a big lad. Anyway, they're all bigger than me. Anyway, all three of them were bigger than me. Anyway, but anyway, I didn't touch any of them really. I didn't touch any of them. But anyway, the police busted me right in 2007 and accused me of being a paedophile. You know, but there's one 15-year-old and two 16-year-olds.
So one was technically no, but I swear the gay age technically is 18 over here, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, that was 16 then.
Yeah, it was 18.
No, sorry, it was 18 by law, I think, probably. But I didn't touch them. I didn't touch them. I didn't even get them naked, for fuck's sake. It was just a game, right?
They got you naked.
They got me naked, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I got busted. Someone accused me of being a kiddie fiddler and making pornographic movies with little children, right? Fisher Eames. Chief Judge Fisher Eames.
Bill, can I say one thing? Do you know the only thing that they asked me in the interview that insinuated towards you being a pedo?
Right.
They said, like, why do you make the films, innit? Like, does he know, like, do you know you make them? I'm like, obviously, fuck's sake, I'll watch them, you know what I mean?
They got a hidden camera. See, that's the whole point. Yeah, but that was the sort of like the point of you guys come out with in the first place, really, because Russell. Anyway, I'll finish off that bit about the police. Yeah. Anyway, the police confiscated all my films, 1,500 of them. Probably about 1,000 of them were ready-made films or whatever. But they watched my films for 4 months. 4 months. And every fucking month, Simon Swistick, my best mate, one of my old mates, like, I haven't seen him for about 4 years now, Simon Swistic. He came down with me to Bale every month, for 4 months. And Shelley was up here nearly every day for 4 months, you know.
So was I.
And so were you and Connor. And all my mates carried on coming up here. You know, most of you guys, well, Barry, so Basil, and Ashley was still, Basil was still coming up here then.
Yeah, because we all come up because everyone knew, Bill, what you were like, and everyone knew.
Well, everyone knows what films they fucking made, don't they?
Yeah.
Because I've been making films with The Neighbourhood for about 20 odd years now. Well, with you guys for about, well, since Russell. 2003 when Russell came up.
See, do you know, it's weird because I can't actually remember who brought me up. Because wait, before I say this, right, the first ever time, Connor, do you know, yeah, before I actually come up here, and I've been coming up here for 10 years, do you know, I come up here one time with Gavin and Ashley because they dropped a draw, and I remember sitting in here because I remember it clearly because Bill was playing Cops and Robbers, and I remember sitting here for about an hour with them lot, and then we left, but because I didn't know you properly, I didn't ever come round on my own. And then I can't remember who I actually come up with. I think it might have been Daniel Stanley or something.
Yeah.
Because obviously, obviously you met Steve and that through me, and then obviously Dan and everyone else.
Well, I met Steve through Dan, because actually, no. Let me finish a bit about the cop shop. Like, anyway, the police they watched my films for 4 months. Right, 4 months I was on bail. And at Christmas time in 2007, the police gave me back my films back 21st of December.
How many were there in total again?
1,500 films they watched. And the police had to watch every one of my films that I made with you guys. The police, but the police watched every single one of the films that we made, right? You guys, 14, 15. Gary, Gary was 14. Billy, I think, was 12, but Billy was Gary's brother. Billy and Gary came up together, didn't he? Because Billy was only 12 when he came up.
He punched someone the other day in town.
But yeah. But you guys were coming up. They were coming up for about fucking since about 2003, like. Anyway, the police watched all the films, and then the police fucking gave them back to me. So I mean, how can you accuse me of being a paedophile when the whole fucking neighbourhood made the fucking films? And you know, with all these neighbourhoods, all these lads and ladies and the girlfriends came up quite a bit. The girlfriends came up later on. The stories, the girlfriends came up some. In fact, girlfriends came up some occasionally as well. And like, yeah, and they all smoke. Anyway, you know, these films, you guys smoking pot, getting drunk, playing board games, getting drunk, making movies. Because I'm an inventor of games, actually. And it all began in 2000. With you guys, it began in 2003. I'm making a film.
Wait here 20 minutes, come back, give me a pound.
It started with Russell, actually. It all began with Russell Loads, with you guys. I was making films with Andy Buxton and co, with my older pals. I was making films with my older pals because I got a lot of pals, sort of like of my generation, sort of thing. A lot of old pals as well.
Do you know
Aggie? I've been making films with Buxton since I had a camera. I got a camera.
Bill, do you know a Scottish guy called Aggie?
No, since
Dave Rogerson.
2002, I think. No, 98 with Mikey and that. That's what I was making films with Mikey first and Andy and stuff. But anyway, with Russell, he was about, when I first met Russell, I think he was about 13 years old. It was before we made films, but before you guys were making films. I met Russell, it must have been 13 years old, because I was the postman. I was a postman, right? And Russell Loads was the paper boy, you see. He was a paper boy on the Hillcrest round, like, on the paper round. And Russell, every day, he used to come up to me and ask me for cigarettes, you see. When he was about 13, 14, when he was working as a paper boy. Russell was the paper boy.
It's not the best bit, so
and he kept asking me for cigarettes every morning, because I used to give him a cigarette every morning.
I went with him, but I met him when I was
because he was about.
You going to use him?
Can I have a book, something, not my matching plastic. Anyway, no, Russell, yeah, I used to give him a cigarette, sort of like, when he was about 14. It must be about 14 when he was doing the paper round thing. Because anyway, in 2003, I was chatting to Russell one day on the street, like, we always used to have a little chat in the morning. We used to chat in the morning, have a cigarette, like. And he said, what do you do then, Bill? I said, well, actually, I make films, Russell. So I'd bought I had a video camera, a VHS video camera, excellent things they were. I love the VHS video camera, still do. But I said to Russell, you know, well, Russell, I make films, I play board games, and I sing songs, because I'm a songwriter, you see. Because I'm a songwriter, I said to Russell. I'm a songwriter, I sing songs, and I play board games. In fact, I invent board games. Because I've been inventing board games for the last fucking 20 odd years, you know. I'm a toy maker actually. I do invent board games. There's some very good ones. Anyway, I said, oh, can I come up and play? Come up one day, man, and play games, right? I said, yeah, sure you can. I think Russell. So it's 2003. Russell came up with. I'll show you the film later on. With his brother Ashley. So with his Russell came up with Basil, his best mate, and Ashley. Yeah, no, yeah, we'll do.
Right,
in a minute. But Russell came up with Ashley and Basil. Let's finish this film. When they were about, I think 14. I think they were 14, 15. I think Russell was 15 actually. Russell, when they came out, I think Russell might have been 15 or 14, 15. Ashley was 14. No, actually, Ashley was 14. No, Ashley and Russell were 14. That's right. Basil was 15. Yeah. When they first came out, Basil was 15.
Yeah, I don't think you're.
You know, Michael Basil, he was 15, and Ashley and Russell, because they were in the same year or same class, they were 14, and they played my board games, and the rest is history. You know, they played my board games, and I made loads of VHS films, and the rest is history. And we made loads of films. You know, we were smoking pot. Well, they bought up the pot half the time. You know, I used to buy pot off them actually. Some of the guys. Anyway, that's how the neighbourhood started, like, and we're still going strong. Anyway, guys, what do you want to say now? Your turn. About the neighbourhood, whatever. Guys, do you want to say anything else on the film? Stop it.
Well, Bill, we ain't really had much to say because you just keep talking.
I know, I've stopped. Do you want to say anything before I turn the camera off? And then we're going to watch a film. We'll watch one of the neighbourhood films next.
Yeah, go on, watch a film.
Alright, nothing else you want to say?
Finish watching the one we're on now.
Well, let's finish this film. Anything else you want to say to the camera?
Bye, camera.
Before I turn it off, let's finish the camera. Hold on, anything you want to say to the camera?
Let's keep it 100 sober right here.
Right, let's turn the camera off now.
Cherry Coke all day.
We're going to turn the camera off now and watch a film. Yeah, that's enough filming for tonight. Good night.